There are questions about left brain, right brain thinking, and maybe this doesn't seem like it fits with neurosomatic therapy right off the bat, but actually it does. For those of you who might be curious and want to do more reading about this, I'm a big fan of Ian McGilchrist. I'll just leave it at that. You can look him up. Left brain and the right brain both have love, hate, logic. Really, they do the same kinds of things, but they do the same kinds of things for two different reasons. Kind of like a reason for a certain skill that you develop. The left brain tends to be more compartmentalizing, tends to do things in a particular order. But a really important distinction with the left brain is that the left brain comes up with theories, but doesn't test those theories in the real world. A patient, for example, might ask, how many sessions is it going to take? If you're going to treat me, is it going to take 3 sessions, 4 sessions, 8 sessions? That's a left brain question, and it's a perfectly fair question. Of course, what the patient really is asking about is, what is this experience going to be like? What should I expect? Now, that's more of a right brain way of thinking about it. So the right side of the brain has meaning. The right side of the brain understands process. The right side of the brain kind of says, well, this is me in the world. Left brain is just me. What do I need? Right brain is this is me in the world. So the right side of the brain has a better understanding of how processes work. And when it comes to anatomical issues, there's definitely a process. If I do my work as a neurosomatic therapist and I make you feel better, you can walk out of my office and have terrible habits and you're going to feel worse right away. So that's one of the complaints that people have about massage therapy, for example, is that massage feels great, the patient feels great after the massage, and then the pain comes right back. I hate to say it, but very often that's the patient's fault. So if you're doing something in your life that you don't know, for example, that's a bad habit, getting in your car sideways, exercising incorrectly, doing the wrong kinds of exercise for yourself. If you're sitting at a computer, it's almost guaranteed that you're sitting with bad posture. You may not know it, but that bad posture is what's causing your migraine headaches. So if I work on your C1, C2, or I work on your cranium to get rid of those migraine headaches, you go right to work and sit with, leaning forward or slumped in your chair, man, those migraines are going to come right back. So a right brain way of thinking about this is, what is the process? And the patient is involved in that process. Frankly, the homework that a patient does is more important than what I do as a therapist. My job as a therapist is to recognize improper patterns, to correct those improper patterns, to basically work with the body so that the patient can then do homework. And that could be stretching, that could be postural issues, changing the way you exercise, exercising at all, even dietary issues like staying hydrated. You might be dehydrated. Working on developing your gut bacteria, because we do work on the digestive system. There's going to be some kind of homework, and if the patient does that homework, in other words, if the patient is involved in the process, they will feel so much better. If a patient wants the therapist to fix them, that's a left brain way of thinking, they're going to have limited results with every single therapist they find. It's just not the way that it works, especially with chronic issues. So you want to look a little bit into how the left brain and the right brain works. You want to live in your right brain more than your left brain, I think, in my opinion. And that's part of what we do as therapists. We involve the patient in the process so they have better results. That's very much a right brain way of